So I don't really keep in touch with a lot of my childhood friends anymore. With the exception of my bestie, Nintendo DS adventure games. You will be the best man at my wedding. Ace Attorney's the big one, naturally. There's the summer I spent marathoning Professor Layton up until they got bad. That day I spent holed up in my college's food court before Thanksgiving break, playing Hotel Dusk in one sitting. The rain pelting against the big glass for hours on end. But all good things come to an end. And I mean that literally, they kicked me out. The lunch ladies wanted to go home. Adventure games experience something of a micro-death alongside designated handhelds. Lower budget experimental games moved from being a thing that almost all large studios did on the cheap to the spark keeping indie development alive. It's not entirely gone from big console releases, but it's a lot more niche now. I still have no idea how Nintendo funded 3 Famicom Detective Club games. The release of the latest one, Emio the Smiling Friend, even led me to discovering today's video topic. Detective Instinct. Farewell, my beloved.
It's so fucking peak.
Now, let's piss off editing Cullen by speaking fondly about the history of the genre from a place of authority, requiring him to download many games and record footage of all of them. It all began in which brings us to the present, and is why No Sleep for Kaname Date failed to meet the moment of 2025, letting down the entire genre and setting the stage for the video game crash of 2026. Anyway, Detective Instinct is a fucking miracle. Projects like this are what get me up in the morning to keep writing about games. If a team this small, this passionate can manage to get a game out this good, what's stopping you? Don't answer that. I've checked the news. It's the economy. There's an inspiration from both the SNES and DS era of the Japanese adventure game here. This is an honest-to-God, genuine love letter to the genre made by ADV superfans, and it shows. It is a wonderful honor to tell you all in today's video what Detective Instinct is and why you should care. A woman goes missing on a train back to London, and 2 American teenagers on a return trip from studying abroad in the fictional country of Allegoria choose to play detective. What unfolds is a 5-day mystery taking place on board a single locomotive, Agatha Christie style. Or, if you're a weeb, Diabolical Box style. While utilizing a classic command menu to interact with the environments, the protagonist and Emma interrogate a suspicious cavalcade of quirky characters and search for clues in a charming adventure game that can be knocked out in a single, very enthusiastic 5.5-hour session. There's a challenge in covering a game like this because I truly think it is the kind of game where you can look at it and immediately decide if you need to buy it. Not want. Need. I love apples. Yes, it is cheap media criticism to say it speaks for itself. And I am broke. Like, here's the test. Look at this. Does this make you yearn? I have not seen a modern game, indie or otherwise, nail the excessively unique pixel art style that I associate so strongly with the Nintendo DS. Returning viewers know I love pre-rendered backgrounds, but something about them rendered to fit on the DS's 192p screen is just so... Can I just say it's hot without any shame? Is my audience used to my shit by now? It's so hot. Emma, get out of the way. I'm trying to appreciate the pre-renders. Whoever made these, please put out some kind of behind the scenes development video on how you made them. I cannot get enough of this. The videos would do very well. I mean, listen to me, trust me. I promise I have motion. At least show me a little PSD, you know? The gorgeous and well-animated sprite work mixed with those beautiful backgrounds aren't a one-to-one stylistic match, but I think it melds together in the same way it does for a game like 999. Is there a word for 2 things you wouldn't think mix well but do? Oh, I've got it. We've evolved past the need for food metaphors. We're on miscible metaphors. This game is like water and ethanol, baby.
I have right here 1 mug of ethanol. And then right here we have the jug of water. Just awful. Combine them. We should have the perfect detective instinct beverage. Inconclusive.
When it comes to actually playing the game though, most of it is going to be spent clicking on parts of the environment to get some flavor text and trigger new dialogue scenes to advance the plot. If you've never played an adventure game of this exact command menu style, you can also use that to ask a character specific topics, and the answers to that list of topics can change depending on the flow of the conversation. This is to mimic the back and forth of an actual interrogation, and you are role-playing as the little guy piloting the human brain of the protagonist. Yes, we need to ask this person about their alibi, but what if we then took a look at every single bottle on the shelf behind them? This style of game lives and dies on its writing, specifically its character writing, and I was overjoyed to find out that Detective Instinct lives. For a game involving revisiting the same core cast in many of the same locations over a number of chapters, charming dialogue is a necessity to keep each scene fresh. Guy who loves to exaggerate voice. And I'm not exaggerating when I say every single side character hits the exact right quirked up notes and somehow never overstays their welcome. I particularly love the two gimmick guys addicted to golf, who get you to play imaginary golf in your mindscape and score you based on your performance. This rules. The bartender who knows, classic detective shit. The working couple with secrets, where am I? The best side case in an Ace Attorney game? The himbo detective with unknown motives? I'm watching you, buddy. There's also a bunch of really fun optional scenes as well, if you're thorough enough examining the environments. My favorite are that if you take a bunch of time looking at everything in your hotel room at the beginning of the game, and then let Emma in, she actually comments on how long it took for you to open the door. Cute. Or if you look at a bunch of mirrors in a row when you're on the train, the protagonist ends up developing a bit of a complex about his appearance that Emma brings up on the other days. Double cute. Zerker, my co-writer and script editor, didn't even see all of these scenes. And perhaps, maybe I missed some as well. Hotel dusk noise, the doo-doo-doo-doo. There's a lot of love for that series as well, even going as far as to have the end of chapter recap scenes. Yet it does all this without feeling derivative. They take their influences and use them as a sort of stylistic language in which to tell their own stories. But we can't talk about iconic adventure games and not mention how good their soundtracks often are. And the Detective Instinct team did not slack on that at all. They cooked. I'm not sure how intentional this was, but my interpretation of the soundtrack of this game is that it tries to use a lot of more modern stylings and instrumentation, but it feels like the music is being played out of a Nintendo DS sound chip. It's a really cool style of music and ties the elevated modern retro presentation together. Depending on the day, I might be willing to say the OST is the best part of the entire package. Music is the ultimate tone setter of a mystery ADV game. Arguably, one of the most important things you had to get right to make me go, "Oh, Nintendo DS!" Do you want your adventure game music to sound like it has pain nostalgia for a time that no longer exists? And perhaps, maybe never did. Do you want a new OST to study to ponder to solve a whole fucking mystery to? Emma's theme makes me fucking cry when I think about it too much, man. Fuck you, writer, director, composer Joey Lopes. That's right. Same guy, 3 hats. If we're ever at the same event, hit me up, dude. First round is on me. So, the script took long enough. I'm at the bus at dark. I'm at the evil dark bus that dies. You go to hell. For me to embarrassingly say that yes, we were at the same event. We were at MagFest together, but I didn't go see him at his booth because I was dressed up like 80100 line. You know, offers open now though. Since the writing is the gameplay in a sense, I already said they had great character writing and environmental descriptions, which is classic DS era adventure game. Having said that, I can't help but respect that with the command menu system, they took obvious inspirations from classic adventure games. Which couldn't have been easy. Just thinking about how to program all the different dialogue trees has my head hurt. There's an art and a science to making this gameplay loop engaging without trapping players in logic loops. And while my standards are very high because I am a sicko who tears through these, I think they did a good job. Nothing ever stumped me, and while I do think that is a slight criticism of its overall difficulty, this was still a really impressive showing for their first game. And I do need to acknowledge, this was clearly aimed towards beginners of the genre, and I think it could make for a great first command menu ADV for just about anyone. The dialogue writing does a really good job of making sure every single character has a unique voice to themselves, which is really impressive for any writer, but I need to also call out the story, which feels genuinely heartfelt and introspective. There's a deep and considered history for these characters and the theme, and unraveling what actually was going on was satisfying. The way the mystery builds and then pays off is used to effectively tell a story of the aimlessness of our two college leads. And while their character conflicts are similar, at the end of the day, this is Emma's story. As she contemplates her hopes and dreams, this is contrasted by the compounding failures of the older cast all around her. Each of these people has a lifetime of regrets, and it's really easy to look at all that at such a pivotal moment in your life and just wonder, what are you even doing here? This anxiety for the future was really compelling to me, especially as someone who passed that pivotal moment quite some time ago and still doesn't even know how his future is going to play out. I get it. It's not a great place to be in. When you've been playing the kinds of games that clearly inspired the writer for as long as I have, you do get certain expectations on where the plot's going, how bombastic it'll get, how crazy things might go at the end. But that's not really what the finale of this game is trying to do. Instead, Detective Instinct is quiet and contemplative, which is a nice change of pace, one I actually really appreciated. Shit had me sipping on coffee and staring out the window thinking about my life. When I was the age of the protagonist and Emma, the sky really did feel like the limit. And all these years later, I have to wonder, am I really happy with my lot in life? I wouldn't be surprised if the writer was working through these kinds of questions with their art here. And these very questions that I ended up having to ask myself as I processed the game's finale allowed me to get over my own maligned expectations for it. All that to say, I have feedback, especially if they make a sequel. Please, please make a sequel. Make the game harder. I'm glad these kinds of introductory ADV games exist, but I'd love a follow-up to require more complicated progression, more complex puzzles, more puzzles in general, to be honest, more areas to explore, and maybe more chapters that involve you doing multiple tasks at once that all end up interweaving together at the end. The best part of the entire game is in the middle, in my opinion, where you're given two leads to chase down in different parts of the train. That hits my brain wonderfully. I could have spent hours more doing just that. These games are of course linear by nature, but they always shine when you are given the chance to explore a space without handholding. It makes you feel like a real detective, even if open-ended progression risks you losing players. Here's some nice to haves. If we're going to be investigating in one setting again, I would love to see a map to allow players to better immerse themselves in the environment. For example, I would have loved to be able to visualize where I am on the train as I go from cart to cart. You're already almost there because every time we do get a look at the train as it transitions from different times of day, it is stunning to look at. I don't even really need a big "you are here" image during traversal. I just want a map. Even if it's an item in your inventory to reference during the investigation, or just have it in the environment to look at to set the scale of the adventure to the player. This one's selfish. I wish the game was longer. Can anyone blame me for wanting a few more hours to poke around and chat with more characters? It's the developer's fault for being too good at their jobs. Don't get me wrong, being fast-paced is not an issue. The plot is conveyed efficiently and doesn't overstay its welcome. But part of me wished it did though, even if I know the game is better off being short and sweet. I could read this dialogue for hours on end. Lastly, a 4x3 mode could be cool, and maybe like a neat CRT filter. or a vertical mode that kind of just fakes the DS screens. It'd be neat. If Detective Instinct is a one and done, I commend it. It feels like a game plucked out of time, accurately recreating the feeling of picking up some random adventure game on a whim at GameStop before a trip to visit family for the holidays. You play it on the ride up, in the back seat, finishing the entire thing in one sitting. Maybe it wasn't the best thing you've ever played, but it warmed your soul to know it existed. It sticks with you, it becomes part of your personality. If Detective Instinct does turn into a series, or at least can get one more game, I think the sky is the limit for this team. This is such a good formula, and they've shown they can do it. If they can push it forward, it's history in the making.
Detective Instinct is probably my easiest recommendation of 2025. Unwilling to just play the hits, it strives to make something new of the old, and I find that really commendable. In my mind, going indie is an acknowledgement that either the studios won't make the kind of games that you want, or the studios won't let you in to make the games that you want. This is the realm for self-indulgence, the place where people make games for themselves over all else. Now I look like either Rhett or Link, whoever's the one with the boop. Play Detective Instinct for even 5 minutes, and it is so obvious that this is the game these people wanted to make. In being so close to every single thing I yearn for and the kind of games I want to play and the kind of things I'd want to make, I am just so inspired by its mere existence. It has taken me half a year to even try to figure out that that is what this game means to me. I don't think I'm reaching here to say that this game feels like an affirmation for all of us, directionless and aimless in the art we create, that it is not too late to make something we're proud of. Okay, I can take the serious glasses off now, but also, if you like games that are fun and good, then you should play this, because this game is the most fun and the most good thing of anything I played last year. Goodbye. Hello. Sorry it's been a minute. Last year kinda sucked. I'm hoping that I can get videos out a bit more frequently from here on, but you know, we'll see. Big thanks to Supreme Zerker for helping me edit the script, Hot Cider for making the thumbnail, and the entire Detective Instinct team, not because they gave me a copy of the game, no, instead I bought 5 on my own, but they ended up sending me some art assets for me to use in the thumbnail. So, big props to them. But I think the people who deserve a lot more thanks are all the people on Patreon that supported me while I took a year to make a different video, scrap that, and then make this one. You ever wear a pair of pants and it seems dry, and then you wear them, and then you find
Secret wetness.
If you'd like to be one of the many names scrolling on this side of the screen at this very moment, get to see videos early, or even get a vocal shout out, then maybe check out the Patreon in the link of this description. This month's Metal Royal Slimes are Inoravan, Hornkerling, iFrozenace, Lava Camoose 567, Moonwatcher, Renteka Bond, Snigs, and your friend Chuck. I sincerely hope it won't take as long between this video and whatever comes next, but I thank all of you for watching and supporting all the same. I sat in wet pants on a sorta wet chair for this video. I am a tortured artist.